This is a demonstration of the grievance subsystem for the Fulton Software Union membership system. So to get started, you click on Grievances, then you click Add New Grievance, and then you set up a title, the employer that the grievance is related to, and you have to set up a status. We'll just set it up to be preliminary at this point. You would normally, as you work through the process, you'd add status records to indicate how far it's come along. These fields at the beginning here are actually defined differently for each site. I've set up a couple that seemed appropriate, but it's really up to you what fields you have here. You can also define additional grids of fields. So you could have records that contain text, numeric, date, or yes/no fields. Now, the standard grids for a grievance are incidents, participants, meetings. You can also have file attachments. And when you send out emails and that sort of thing, they get tracked in the communication tracking grid. I'm going to start with participants. Now, participants are people who really have anything to do with the grievance process. I'm going to start, you can see that they can be staff or members or employers or really any other individual. So let's start with a member, the member that's actually filing the grievance. And we'll search by name. And we'll choose the email that's on file. You can override that and use a different email if it makes sense. And that's the first one. We'll add a person from the employer. And we'll just pick the main contact for the employer. And we'll call them the employer representative. And we'll add a staff member that we're going to have them act as the union rep. Now, probably normally that would be the shop steward or something, but just for the purposes of the example. So we've added a few participants. Now let's add a meeting to the grievance. It'll just be the preliminary meeting. Now you notice that the participants for the grievance automatically get added as participants for the meeting. You can delete those or add extras should you wish. Let's just call it preliminary. We'll just make it 3 p.m. today. 90 minutes. We'll make this internal. This list of types is really something that you can define. So I've just set up something preliminary here. And Let's just save that. Let's invite all of these participants to the meeting. Oh wait, let's add somebody who's just got a phone number as a contact. So you can see what happens in that situation. And now let's invite them all. And you'll see that it actually reminds that you have to physically call one of the people. And you can see the emails coming in. I've set them up to actually come back to myself so that we can see what happens on the receiving end. So the emails have been generated and actually received in my mail program. Now, you'll also notice that communication tracking records have been generated down here. And they correspond to each of the emails that has been sent out. And also a record for the phone call that was made manually. So let's go over to the email program and you can see that each of the emails have some options. You can the recipient can indicate whether or not they're going to attend. We'll click "Will attend" here, and you'll see it gets posted back to the membership system. We'll go here and we'll click "Will not attend," and we'll click "May attend." And let's just close these windows. Normally these would happen at the recipient's email location. I'm just doing it on the same computer for convenience. And let's refresh this screen. So we'll see the responses. You can see that responses have come back and been posted to the system. And we'll post the response that we received by phone directly. So you can see how the participants for the meeting can be invited and responses come back. Now let's save the meeting and exit. And you see that there's an analogous option for participants for the grievance. You can click on Communicate All and send an email. And you can also indicate responses that the email recipients can click on when they get the email. We'll just so there's one response per line, and we'll send those off. And you can see that communication records are also produced for those emails. And you see the emails that come in. We'll switch over to the email program again. We'll look at the emails and make some choices. And close these update windows. And let's just refresh the screen. And we'll look in the communication records and just see the choices have been posted back to the communication records for the emails. Now, one thing we kind of skipped over at the beginning was incidents. They're optional, but you can record information about the instance that caused the grievance in the first place. So let's enter a little bit of data, and we'll say it was discharged, and we'll add some participants. Well, we'll just add one participant, the griever. So you can record as much information about the incidents that caused the grievance in the first place as well. And that concludes the demo for the grievance subsystem. Please contact Fulton Software if you have questions or comments. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.